It's 5 p.m. Hello, good evening, and welcome to 505 here on Class 91.3 FM. Coming up, President John Dramani Mahama announces a major cabinet reshuffle, nominating Clote Colley MP Dr. Nana Agyemah Rawlings as Minister for Environment, Science, Technology and Innovation. Kenneth Gilbert Ejay moves to the Defense Ministry, while Mahama Ayariga has been reassigned to the Ministry of Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs. Meanwhile, sources tell Class News that Busa North MP James Agalga has emerged as the leading contender to become the next majority leader, replacing Mahama Ayariga. Also in the bulletin tonight, disaster management committees activated from the regional to the district level ahead of next week's Bagre Dam spillage.
Regional Minister has instructed that all the disaster management committees from the region to all the districts be activated. Every NADMO officer is supposed to be on the field.
Northeast Regional Minister Ibrahim Tia has directed all NADMO officers to remain on the ground and ensure that farmers do not cultivate along river banks ahead of the planned controlled spillage of Burkina Faso's Bagre Dam on Tuesday, August 11, 2026. Tonight, we will also hear from residents along the White Volta who fear losing their farms. They are appealing for a delay in the spillage to allow time to harvest their crops.
The dam to affect us, our crop, our food style.
And looking at our crops this year, they are not even ready for harvesting. Here is the case that they are going to open the dam.
When they open the Dajis dam, convey all our crops away.
Calls for restrictions on social media use by children under 16 are gaining momentum as the National Union of Ghana Students links harmful online content to rising indiscipline in schools.
So I think that banning social media for children below 16 years is the best, because at that age, I don't know the importance of social media to the upbringing of the child. What the child must focus on is the digital content that has been provided. The child would rely on that to study.
And later tonight, the controversy over the 2026 BEC results deepens as private school associations petition the Ministry of Education for an independent review of the assessment process. This bulletin is coming to you live from our studios here at digital address GL0423595 North Laboni, 3rd Daddy Street, Accra. We're also live on Ho FM 92.5 and Hills FM 91.7 in Adaklu in the Volta region, Max Empire 96.9 at Bazwa in the Upper East region, Dagban FM 102.5 in Tamale and Radio Power 96 in Spain. You can also watch us live on Facebook. Join the conversation using the hashtag 505 or send us a WhatsApp message on 0500,000 202 0500,000 202. My name is Nana Agyemah Prempeh. Let's settle for the details. To our very first story, President John Dramani Mahama has nominated Dr. Nana Agyemah Rawlings, Member of Parliament for Clote Colley, as Minister for Environment, Science, Technology and Innovation in a major cabinet reshuffle announced today. The nominations have been submitted to Parliament through the Speaker in accordance with Article 79, Clause 1 of the 1992 Constitution, which requires parliamentary approval before ministerial appointments take effect. As part of the reshuffle, Kenneth Gilbert Ejay has been nominated as Minister for Defense, filling the substantive position left vacant following the deaths of Dr. Edward Kofi Omane-Boamah and Dr. Ibrahim Mutala Mohammed in the August 2025 helicopter crash. Mahama Ayariga, MP for Boko Central, has been reassigned to the Ministry of Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs, while Ahmed Ibrahim moves to the Ministry of Works, Housing and Water Resources. The reshuffle was announced in a statement signed by Felix Kwachi Ofosu, Presidential Spokesperson and Minister for Government Communications. There's more in the following Newsdesk report. Before we bring you the Newsdesk reports, we've been joined on the phone lines by a political analyst, Dr. Jonathan Asante Ochre. So we are scheduled to speak with Dr. Jonathan Asante Ochre. We want to find out this reshuffling, the nominations and all that. But before that, my colleague and parliamentary correspondent Zita Okwan joins me in studio. So Zita, there's the latest coming in from the presidency. But before we even get to that, there are hints that there's going to be a major shakeup in Parliament. You are there. You represent us in Parliament. We broke the news this afternoon on 12 Live. We've seen flyers, we've seen communiques, we've seen reportage that Bulsa North MP James Agaga is being tipped to be the majority leader.
Right.
What more do you have on that? Then we settle down to the profile of these people as well.
Well, so the sector faces major challenges, including all these that's coming up is because of the current majority leader. I say the current because currently Parliament is not in session. So Mahama Yariga, who is the majority leader, now the minister for chieftaincy,
Yeah,
and
nominated for
exactly,
that.
meaning that the party, that's the NDC caucus in Parliament, and then also the NDC will now have to introduce or nominate a new majority leader. So you have to know that the move has created a significant vacancy within the majority caucus, with the focus now shifting to who has the capacity and political weight to lead government businesses in Parliament. And then among the names that have been discussed are the current majority chief whip, that is Roxanne Nelson Dafiamekpo, and then the deputy majority leader, which is Kweku Ricketts Hagan. But sources within the majority caucus indicates that, rightly as you mentioned there, Bulsa South Member of Parliament James Agaga has emerged as the fortuner for the position, and he was then the former Deputy Interior Minister, and he is currently the chairman of Parliament's Defence and Interior Committee, and is said to be the preferred choice, James Agaga. That's why you get most of his photos or stories being said that he is the new majority leader for the majority in Parliament. But James Agaga, years of parliamentary, he has more years of parliamentary experience and the ability to argue issues on the floor among factors believed to be working in his favor. We've seen the minority side where Alexander Afenyo-Markin has been very tough in making issues on the floor. Now, meaning that whoever comes up to be the majority leader will have to match up to the minority leader Alexander Afenyo-Markin's strength or energy to be able to put government business into order. So that's why we have the Member of Parliament for Bulsa South, James Agaga, being in the news to be named because his name has topped up. A lot of people were looking out for Roxanne Nelson Dafiamekpo. So it's between these three people, the deputy majority leader, that's Kweku Ricketts Hagan, and then the majority chief whip, Roxanne Nelson Dafiamekpo, and then the Member of Parliament for Bulsa North. Also, what we need to know is that because Parliament is currently on recess, it means that the nomination cannot immediately be referred to the appointment committee. So, for instance, if Parliament was in session and this letter from the presidency had come in, it would be given directly or communicated directly to Parliament, and then the appointment committee will have to take over. So, what it means now, because the president's changes or reshuffle has some ministers going into other ministerial positions, you have Mahama Yariga to lead the Ministry of Religious Chieftaincy and religious affairs. So he cannot work in the office immediately, despite a deputy being there. But he cannot work. He has to be communicating with these deputies or other directors in the ministry to be able to do the work, because Parliament had not taking a look at it there. Until then, Mahama Yariga will continue to serve as the majority leader and leader for government business in Parliament. However, following his nomination, the majority caucus and the governing party are already considering potential replacement, and that's where we see the name for the Busa South MP
coming up.
James Agaga.
Very well. So you have by today from the statement released from the presidency, a brief profile of these personalities and all that.
Dr. Nana Agyemah 48, is the Member of Parliament for Klote Kole, a position she has held since January 2017. She is the eldest daughter of former President Jerry John Rawlings and former First Lady Nana Agyemah. Born on June 1, 1978 in Accra, she hails from Jelukopa in the Volta region. She attended Achimota School for her basic education and graduated from Wesley Girls High School in Cape Coast in 1996. She obtained her medical degree from the Royal College of Surgeons in Ireland. She also holds a master's degree in conflicts, peace and security from the Kofi Annan International Peacekeeping Training Center and has certificates in defense management, conflict and crisis management from the Ghana Armed Forces Command and Staff College. She also studied women, peace and security at the London School of Economics. Dr. Agyemah worked as a medical doctor in general practice early in her career. She is a passionate environmental activist and a strong advocate for inclusivity and women's empowerment. Before entering Parliament, she led humanitarian efforts, including donating relief items to victims of the June 3 flood and fire disaster in 2015. She successfully contested the Klole Korte parliamentary primaries in 2015, running against the then incumbent Nana Agyemah Prempeh. She has since been re-elected and currently serves her third term in the 9th Parliament of the 4th Republic. She serves on Parliament's Environment, Peace and Technology Committee and chairs the Parliamentary Select Committee on Security and Intelligence. In April 2026, she was selected second Vice President of the Pan-African Parliament. Kenneth Gilbert Ejay, 47, has been reassigned from the Ministry of Works, Housing and Water Resources to head the Ministry of Defense. He hails from Chidede in the Ashanti region. He attended Opokuwari School for his secondary education, where he served as a dining hall prefect. He holds a Bachelor of Science in Marketing from the Ghana Institute of Management and Public Administration, GIMPA, an Executive MBA from the University of Ghana Business School, and a Master of Arts in Peace, Security and Intelligence Management from the University of Professional Studies, Accra, UPSA. Before entering politics, Ejay worked as a marketing executive with a background in financial and insurance services. He served as program director of the Lodina Foundation, the charity founded by First Lady Lodina Mahama, and was a board member of the National Lottery Authority. Ejay was first appointed Deputy Minister of Defense in March 2015, serving until NDC left office in January 2017. When NDC returned to power in 2025, President Mahama appointed him Minister of Works, Housing and Water Resources, a role he held until his reassignment. He is a member of the National Democratic Congress and was active in the Tertiary Education Institution Network, TEIN, while at GIMPA. He is married with 3 children and lists music and golf as his main interests. Mahama Ayariga, 52, has been reassigned from his role as Majority Leader of Parliament to head the Ministry of Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs. He is the Member of Parliament for Boko Central in the Upper East region. Born on May 12, 1974 in Boko, Ayariga attended Barawa College in Zaria, Kaduna State, Nigeria for his secondary education. He holds a Bachelor of Laws from the University of Ghana, Legon, and a Master's of Law from Harvard Law School in the United States. He began his career as a teaching assistant in Natural Resources Law and International Law at the Faculty of Law.
So that was a news extra report.
30 years ago, MTN arrived in Ghana and everything changed. Now to celebrate 30 years, we are giving back big time. The MTN at 30 promo is here. 9 Toyota Land Cruiser Prados to be won. Over 10 million Ghana cedis in rewards plus so much more. Connect to your everyday hustle on MTN. Make video calls. Browse the internet for business with family and friends. Connect your home to MTN Fiber. Make that money move on Momo and stay ahead because every move counts. Ghana, let's celebrate 30 years of MTN with the MTN at 30 promo. Use more MTN services, build more points and win big. Dial *530# or visit the My MTN app for more.
So you're still listening to 505 here on Class 91.3 FM. My name is Nana Agyemah Prempeh. Now let's go over to the phone lines and speak with security analyst Adib Asani. Hello, Mr. Asani. Good evening and thanks for joining us on 505.
My pleasure.
Right, so Kenneth Gilbert J previously served as the Deputy Defense Minister in 2017. What experience does he bring to the role and what should his immediate priorities be as a Defense Minister nominee?
Well, my initial assessment is that he enters the Defense Ministry with a stronger foundation than his recent works and housing portfolio might initially suggest, principally because he has actually worked inside the Defense Ministry before, like you mentioned, and even though his role as a Deputy Minister of the Interior between 2015 and 2017 is short-lived, I'm pretty sure that he might have gathered some industrial knowledge or expertise in that area. So surely this is not going to be a shock to him. I think my suggestion also is that he has to work assiduously in modernizing Ghana's military. I understand that a lot of the equipment we have, from vehicles to the aircraft, are old. And because they are no longer in production, getting the parts sometimes is difficult. And I think that drawing from lessons learned from the disaster, there is the urgent need as a matter of national security priority for the country's military to be modernized. Secondly, I do hope that he is able to have a great working relationship with the military high command. I've always indicated that Ghana's military or defense space is very well structured. Beyond the political appointees, such as the minister and the deputy minister, we have a very solid public service, civil service structure on the ground, which is headed by the chief director. We have accountants also from the Controller and Accountant General Department. So the structure already exists. Beyond the civilian structure, there's also the military structure. The Chief of Defense Staff has that structure, and he's supported by his service chief, okay? And so I would hope that he listens to the experts, okay? When you have a minister who feels he knows it all and doesn't listen to the experts, it creates a bit of a problem. So far, I have not had any complaints from any quarters so far as that is concerned. But surely he needs to have a very good relationship with the military high command, and hopefully things would go as expected.
Right, so before I let go of you, Mr. Sani, so looking ahead, what are the key security challenges the new defense minister must address over the next 2 years? I know you did mention that you're calling for the modernization of the military. Aside from that, what two key security challenges would you expect the minister to address in the next 2 years?
Well, one of the biggest challenges we have is the threat of terrorism. as you are well aware of, according to the Global Terrorism Index, for a number of years now, the Sahel region is recorded the highest number of terrorist attacks than any other region in the world. About 50% of all terrorist attacks across the globe happens in the Sahel region. The situation keeps deteriorating by the day in Mali, with the recent killing of even the defense minister. Burkina Faso is also grappling with the terrorism issue. Yesterday, I had the opportunity to meet their defense minister. They call him the Minister of Warfare and Patriotic Defense, something like that, at the event at the Ministry of Defense. The fear is efforts by the terrorists to move towards the coastal areas. So the defense minister would have to collaborate with other security agencies and even international partners in dealing with the threat. There's a need for us to revamp the Accra initiative and work closely with our sub-regional allies in ensuring that these terrorists are not able to come in. We have still a lot of experts in the system, such as the venerable former National Security Coordinator, Mr. Larry Devlulati. He's still in the system. He's the envoy to the Sahel, and he still has a lot of ideas, which I believe if we tap into would really help. So the minister should be a listening minister. He should work with as many stakeholders as possible in addressing this major threat of terrorism, and most importantly, issues of accommodation, the welfare of our soldiers, our gallant soldiers, I must say, because Ghana's military is one of the most respected in Africa. And we need to work to maintain that status quo and even improve it going forward. But surely all of that lies to a large extent on strategic leadership.
Right. Very well. Thanks for your time on 505 with us, Adib Sani. So you had security analyst Adib Sani. We've also been joined on the phone lines by governance expert Dr. Frederick Odro. Hello, Doc. Good evening, and thanks for joining us.
Good evening.
Right. So, Doc, the news is out. There are a number of nominations for ministerial positions, and so we want to know on 505 tonight, what benchmarks should Ghanaians use to assess the performance of these new ministers over the next 2 years?
Well, governance is about responsiveness. We can talk about all the issues that you expect your leaders to, the characteristics you expect your leaders to exhibit. I mean, truthfulness, ethical. You expect them to be people with integrity, true to their words. You expect them to show leadership. They should be bold and, above all, do what is right by the people. Those are basically what the least I would expect any minister to deliver. So on that score, that's what I would like to say.
Right. So, Doc, let's move to Parliament, because both James Agalga and Mahama Yariga are in Parliament and they come from the Upper East region. Can we say that was a regional balance a factor, or is just based on leadership considerations?
A lot of factors will have to come into play. Mahama Yariga has been in frontline politics for quite a long time. Remember, he served as spokesperson during the time of President Mel. He served as a minister, and all this while he's been in Parliament. He's a lawyer. He's very experienced, and the same goes to a large extent on Honorable Agalga. All of them have been in frontline politics for quite a long time. In as much as we would always talk about regional balance and all that, we also need to put put your best foot forward. Sometimes, yes, nobody would accept any form of parochialism in our politics, but also we need people who can deliver. So, in as much as we want regional balance and you want equity in the appointment of people, I don't think we should just appoint people because they must balance something. But we need the right people with a right, with ability and experience and the qualification to perform certain functions. So I think meritocracy should sometimes outweigh considerations for equity and the likes. So I am, yes, by and large, you would expect there to be a sincere level of equity in such arrangements. But I think we should be more interested in people who can deliver.
All right. So for this ninth parliament, we've seen a minority leader like Alexander Fenyomakin always putting up a strong force in the House. How much influence do you think someone like Fenyomakin has had on the NDC thinking in selecting a potential majority leader to match his force?
Well, the point is that the role of the minority is to look at alternatives and present higher levels of arguments. Stronger points in the arguments. And look, the optics in politics is very important. So if you have somebody who is so eloquent, who is very knowledgeable, even though significantly young, like Mr. Fenyomakin, and he is on the minority side and is going to appoint a new majority leader, you need to be very careful. You need to bring out somebody who can also do quite well, somebody who is eloquent, somebody who can think on their feet, somebody who will be on top of government issues. Because remember, currently the majority leader is not a minister of state. So you ask yourself whether they are allowed to attend to meetings of the cabinet to appreciate what is going on, and the extent to which they can be in touch with ministers of state and with the presidency to be able to champion the cause of the majority side in parliament. If you don't have that person with the acumen and the persona to actually execute that, there's a likelihood that the minority leader will continually outshine the majority leader, and that does not bode well for the majority side.
Right. Very well, Doc. We thank you for your time and your submission here on 505. So you had governance expert Dr. Frederick Ojo there. You can also share your thoughts and your contributions with us on 505. Our WhatsApp number 0500,000 202 0500,000 202.
Charlie, trim I'm nice. I guess some Charlie, trim I'm nice. I get some serious meeting.
Allah, motion. But Charlie, no credit today. Oh, but you relax.
Momo day.
Hey, what funny.
Yes, so I borrow small, sort myself out, I pay back. We move.
Spot there.
Ah, Charlie, you sure say you dey pay back?
Yes, so
that anytime somebody else they need them, Momo day.
Be like I for can't borrow some.
Hey, you this boy. Don't go there and disgrace yourself.
Allah, motion.
Responsible borrowing be the real flexo for today's needs and tomorrow's dreams. Borrow, sort them, pay back. Momo day.
All disaster management committees have been directed to fully activate their emergency response structures from the regional to the district levels ahead of the annual controlled spillage of excess water from Burkina Faso's Bagre Dam. The spillage, scheduled to begin on Tuesday, August 11, 2026, is expected to increase water volumes flowing downstream through the White Volta River and its tributaries into Ghana. The directive was issued by the Northeast Regional Minister Ibrahim Tia as authorities prepare to manage the potential impact of the release. The exercise, carried out by Burkina Faso's electricity company Sonabel, is aimed at protecting the structural integrity of the dam when the water levels rise significantly. Speaking to Class News, the Northeast Regional Director of NADMO, Alhaji Rafiu Tahiru, said the organization has received assurance on the expected volumes of water to be released and is taking steps to minimize the impact on vulnerable communities. Meanwhile, residents along the White Volta River are appealing for a delay in the spillage, fearing the release could destroy their farms and livelihoods. They say their crops are not yet ready for harvest and are urging government to engage Burkina Faso authorities to postpone the exercise until they save up their produce.
We heard that it will be open on the 11th, and as farmers, that's where we depend on. And looking at our crops this year, they are not even ready for harvesting. And here is the case that they are going to open the dam. I don't know what will happen to our crops after opening the dam, because that's where we also manage for our families. So I think they should have first of all wait till when we harvest our farm products, then they do so.
The rain it affected some of the crops, not to talk of opening the dam. When they open the Dajis dam there, then or they to convey all our crops away. Well, I propose that the government should wait patiently till our crops are, grown, or we will harvest everything and then they can now open it. Otherwise, it will affect us.
Our crops are not ready for harvesting, and now that they are trying to open the dam, I think it will affect us, our crop, our foodstuffs, our livestock, animals, and those who might find their way into the water bodies. They may be carried away, and which may contribute to hunger and economic hardship on the communities and villages that are surrounded by the water. So I think the government should have taken enough time to sensitize the public, educate us about what is going to be happening and what can be done, so that if the dam is eventually opened, it will not go ahead to affect our crops, our animals, and even eventually maybe some properties or houses that may be located along the water bodies. So I think the government should exercise patience with opening the dam while providing more information about the modality surrounding its opening until everything is safe for them to open it. Then they can go ahead and open the dam.
So you have some residents living along the White Volta River. Now, Alhaji Rafiu Tahiru also explained that NADMO is working with Burkina Faso authorities and other stakeholders to protect farmers along river banks and prevent further loss of lives.
Last year, for instance, the spillage came somewhere 27th of this month. That is the tail end of the month of August. But here we are, the beginning of the month is where we are confronted with. Definitely it will affect farm produce, because no farmer will be able to pick whatever he or she has farmed on the land. We are not just trying to save the situation or rescue farmers from this particular incident. We have at the back of our minds what we can do in future to stop or kind of avert this kind of situation. And there are we are working closely with Ministry of Agric, Department of Food and Agriculture, to come up with what I call flood escape seeds. In other words, they are improved seeds that we want the farmers to use. These improved seeds reduce the maturity days. For instance, rice that can take like 4 months to be okay for harvesting, with the improved seeds, it would require less than 3 months or 3 months to be able to go in. So that is what we are working with the Ministry of Agric and some of the farmers. But the challenge here too is that most of our farmers are not ready to kind of sign on or switch to these improved seeds, with reasons of yield, reasons of not having money to buy fertilizer and that kind of thing. And so it is a collective kind of work that we are doing. But one thing I can assure you is that the regional minister has instructed that all the disaster management committees from the region to all the districts be activated. In this
regard, every NADMO officer is supposed to be on the field. And then we make sure that farmers who are farming along the river banks, once the water gets into the farm, we wouldn't allow any farmer into the riverside. So for now, we are pushing and helping them to pick whatever is ready from the farm. Right, and that is what we are doing and monitoring the rising level of the water in the White Volta.
Moving forward, is August going to be declared a month for the spillage so that these farmers would prepare ahead? Because you did mention that last year it happened on the 27th and now we are experiencing it in the early days of August.
Yes, whether we encourage farmers, here we depend largely on rain. And so as soon as it depends on when the rain will start for the farmers to go in and sow. So if the rain starts late, then it means that farmers will not farm or they will not get to the farm so early in order to pick their farm produce early. So all depends on the rain. The rain. This year, the rain has come so early, and that is the reason why we are the authorities in Burkina Faso are notifying us of the early spillage.
So you heard the Northeast Regional Director of NADMO, Alhaji Rafiu Tahiru. Now, the Municipal Director of NADMO for East Mamprusi, Nibi Divine, has outlined the organization's level of preparedness and the measures being taken to protect lives and properties.
As Minister, we are putting up our sensitization machinery in place, and by tomorrow we'll start the sensitization across the entire municipality to make sure that we are able to bring all those who are down the path up. So that's what we are doing. And after the sensitization, that one is a key issue. So that is the first thing we need to do anytime we have information. We were monitoring the reports that were coming in. Then we started putting in our plan as to what we needed to do. And now that we've gotten the information, thank God we have some number of these, so we'll be able to carry out.
So you had Nibi Divine, who is the Municipal Director of NADMO for East Mamprusi. Calls for restrictions on social media access for persons below the age of 16 are gaining momentum, with the National Union of Ghana Students NUGS warning that harmful online content is contributing to indiscipline among students. NUGS says unrestricted access to social media platforms is influencing the behavior of young people and contributing to rising cases of misconduct in schools. The concerns come amid growing public discussions on student indiscipline, including cases of violence, substance abuse, disrespect for authority, and other behavioral challenges recorded in some schools. Speaking to Class News, President of NUGS, Rashid Ibrahim, identified uncontrolled access to social media as one of the factors shaping the attitudes of students.
So I think that banning social media for children below 16 years is the best, because at that age, I don't know the importance of social media to the upbringing of the child. What the child must focus on is the digital content that has been provided. The child would rely on that to study. And if he's studying, it should be studies only, not to watch other content that would actually erode the moral fiber of the child. And if you look at a country like UK, they have actually started making a legislation to ban social media for children under 16 years. 16 years. And that is where social media emerged from. And if they have actually seen that the children are abusing it and it's contributing to the erosion of their moral ethics, it is only good that as Ghanaians, we follow suit, because it looks like our children are copying more than even those that had that. The countries that the social media emerged from. So it's at the back of this, coupled with the indisciplined attitude of our senior high schools, that I called on them to actually place a ban social media for children under 16 years. So actually all of us we are in the digital age, and everyone, including myself, we are advocating for digitalization of how we do things in our schools. And then sharing of the tablets is a good thing. Is a good thing, but the content that a child would have access to must be regulated. And here, NCA, and then cybersecurity has a role to play when it comes to the regulation of the kind of content that the child would have access to.
So you had the president of the National Union of Ghana Students, NUCS, Rashid Ibrahim. Still on education, the controversy surrounding the 2026 Basic Education Certificate Examination BEC results has taken a new turn, with private school associations petitioning the Ministry of Education for an independent review of the assessment process. The groups say concerns raised by schools, parents, and other stakeholders over alleged unfair assessment of candidates must be addressed to ensure transparency and restore confidence in Ghana's examination system. The development follows concerns from sections of the private education sector after the release of the results, with some stakeholders questioning aspects of the assessment process and demanding greater clarity. However, the West African Examination Council, WAEC, which conducts the BEC, says the examination process follows established procedures and quality assurance measures designed to protect the credibility and integrity of the assessment. And meanwhile, the Ghana National Council of Private Schools, together with the Ghana National Association of Private Schools, has formally petitioned the Ministry of Education demanding greater transparency, fairness, and accountability in the BEC assessment process. Presenting the petition, the National Executive Director, Obinfo Nana Agyemah, said the concerns go beyond the 2026 results, stressing that the broader objective is to strengthen public confidence in Ghana's educational assessment process. And we've been joined on the phone lines by the Vice President of the Ghana National Association of Private Schools, Justice King Efil. Hello, Justice, good evening, and thanks for joining us.
Good evening, and thanks for giving me this opportunity.
You're most welcome. So what specific concerns have private schools raised about the 2026 BEC results that informed their decision to petition the Ministry of Education?
Okay, so we think that it's about time that WAEC is a bit more transparent in the way they go about marking our BEC results. As you may be aware, unlike the West Africa, the WASI examination, which is for senior high school, which is based entirely on the standard. So let's say a child scores between 100 and 75 is awarded grade 1. We don't have same for the basic level education. And so the basic level education is actually assessed based on other cohort, other compatriots, like other children writing. So they look at it and see who are the top best 4, and they award them the grade. That way, you don't know if a child did well or did not do well. You're only comparing the students. It could even happen that in a particular year or subject, the student might not have performed very well, but yet somebody got a grade 1. We want to bring more meaning to what the grade 1. The second part also has to do with actually the kind of mistake that came with this year's results, where you find some subjects, discrepancies in some of the subjects. So somebody registered for a subject and he's being given another subject as his result. We thought that that would not, that doesn't go too well for us. We have seen our own students sometimes leave private schools and join a public sector school just about the time they're writing the BEC. Some even leave as early as in Form 2. And as soon as they go to a public school and they write the examination, we know our children, we know them are standard because they've been with us all throughout. They do better in the public school than if they were in their own schools. And all these things lay credence to the fact that something might be fishy. When we are registering, we indicate public-private. So there is that separation, there's distinction. Everybody knows what a private school is from the public schools.
Right, so WAEC says it does not discriminate against candidates and uses quality assurance measures in marking. What evidence do you have to support your concerns about possible...
In the first place, who is regulating WAEC to come to that point? WAEC definitely will not say that they have done anything wrong. I've given you circumstantial evidence. I've given you reasons on the ground for you to know that there is this wrong. Sometimes some things, sometimes will let you know what is going wrong. But who is regulating WAEC? How do we finish examination, for example? In the placement, we used to have what we call raw score. Ghana Education Service, which runs public schools, unlike Asura public schools, are able to see the raw scores of the children, to, in other words, be able to place them. and we cannot see the results of our children, even though we paid fully for our examination. How do you explain that? So it's not about just saying that, what evidence you have. I've given you some circumstances that make us believe that in my earlier submission.
So now let's wrap up this conversation. What exactly are you seeking to achieve with your petition? Are you calling for an independent audit, a review of the script, or a broader investigation?
No, we cannot. We're not saying that this script must be completely looked at. It's not about only this year. We think that as the year goes, let me quickly also say that the suspicion that we have broadly is because of the growing numbers of children who are going to the SHS, as against the opportunities that are available to them. Otherwise, what does it mean? If somebody comes around the top 23% or the top quartile of performance, and then he or she can get her school, but that's not the case. Okay, so it's becoming difficult for even those who come with the top quartile getting even their top schools. So which means that the inadequacy of grade A schools is also a factor that government has begun to work on. If we want to look at it in the long term, and we're looking at a short-term situation. Next year, when the numbers even increase beyond this one, there will also be a more clamoring. WAEC itself must be seen to be more transparent by changing its system of assessment, where we are looking at the assessment based on the child and not comparing them to other student standards. So we can say that when we say grade 1, what is grade 1? From 100 to this mark is 1. So we all know we are working towards 1. So that's another area we must begin to look at. The schools itself, yes, our teachers, of course, must not just think that in a competitive examination like this one, we need to continue to look at where we could sharpen our skills better. I agree that we need to look at that also, because as the student examiners reports come out, they identify key things that the children do as error that we could look at and be able to improve our performance generally. So there's a number of things that we have to do from government, WAEC itself, our schools, and just to be able to ensure that at the end of the day, everybody is satisfied with whatever happens.
Very well. We really appreciate your time and effort speaking with us, Justice. So you have the Vice President of the Ghana National Association of Private Schools, Justice King Efil. Now, sometimes big moments start with small things. A call to a loved one, a Momo transaction to support family, a bundle to grow your business. But what if they could lead to something bigger than you imagine? With MTN at 30 promo, every call, every text, every browse, every Momo transaction, every connection to home fiber, and every activity on the My MTN app earns you point towards amazing rewards, including 9 brand new Toyota Land Cruiser Prados, over 10 million Ghana cedis in cash prizes, and unforgettable experiences just for you. Because every moment counts. Dial *530# or just use My MTN app to participate now, and let's stay connected everywhere you go. MTN at 30 promo. Make every move count. Remember, terms and conditions apply. Now, the Ashanti Regional Chairman of the New Patriotic Party, the NPP, Bernard Nchibosi, popularly known as Chairman Wontumi, has applied to the Accra High Court for bail pending the hearing of his appeal against a 20-year prison sentence. Chairman Wontumi was convicted on 6 illegal mining-related offences, leading to the custodial sentence. His legal team is seeking bail while the appeal process continues. We've been joined on the phone lines by a private legal practitioner, Ni Tete. Hello, Counsel. Good evening, and thanks for joining us on 505.
Good evening. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. Now, First Court is on legal vacation, and how does the appeal go through?
Well, thank you very much. Let me say good evening to your listeners. Well, if you notice, a date has been set for a motion for bail pending appeal. This is a motion. The fact that the court is on legal vacation does not mean all the courts are on legal vacation, so matters like this will not be heard. And so matters like this definitely to be heard. And so, yes, it should. We are on legal vacation, but some courts are still open to attend to emergency situations like this. And so, if you look at the application, there's a date that is fixed for hearing for the bill pending appeal.
Right, so now given that the conviction involved 6 illegal mining related offenses, how significant is the nature of the offenses when a court is considering a bail application?
Okay, question again.
I'm asking, given that the conviction involved 6 illegal mining related offenses, how significant is the nature of the offenses when a court is considering a bail application like this?
Well, clearly, it means that Mr. Bernard Entry-Buchaku, formerly known as Chairman Wotibu, is not satisfied with the judgments of the High Court, and so they are appealing. And so what it means is that they are paying the judgment of the High Court, but as they are appealing, they are only asking the court to grant Chairman Wotibu bail. What it means, it doesn't mean that he is not guilty, but well, whilst you are listening to my appeal, because I believe that the court, they believe the court has not been fair to them, they are asking that, well, let Chairman Wotibu come home on bail, and so that if indeed the appeal doesn't go in his favor, he goes back and continues his sentencing. If indeed it goes in his favor, then he knows that clearly he's free. So this bail pending appeal doesn't mean that he's innocent. You see, the court may even grant the bail pending appeal just because of the fact that the judgment of the High Court has been appealed. But it doesn't mean that Chairman Wotibu is innocent. So it may also be refused. Looking at the fact that, okay, well, if indeed the judgment is being appealed, then why should he be granted bail? In any case, the court can say, well, we'll expedite action in the appeal and make sure that the matter is settled and we decide, rather than give it Chairman Wotibu bail for him to come home and the matter will be decided. So it is a 50-50 situation. But as a lawyer, a good lawyer, thinking the best for his client and working in the best interest of his client, this strategy or this application is the way to go. Once you're a lawyer for a client who has been sentenced or convicted and you are appealing, it's only wise as a lawyer to file an application for bail pending appeal, hoping that indeed your client will be granted bail whilst you continue the fight on appealing the decision. So I think that so far this is the best strategy that can be adopted by lawyers.
Right, so you said this is the best strategy his lawyers can adopt, but in the case where the bill is being denied, are there other legal options available to Chairman Wotibu and his legal team?
Once the bill is denied, they can go ahead and repeat the bail application again. I mean, the Supreme Court. So you will see that it is a gamble. Let me say it's a gamble. You are asking for bail pending appeal.
Right.
Asking the court that indeed grant my client's bail whilst listening to my appeal. The court can deny it and decide on the appeal immediately. So there will be no time to even repeat the bail application. It may also be that the court will grant the bail application and take its time and listen to the submissions of the accused person and decide whether indeed he is innocent or is indeed guilty. And so, as for the remedies, they are there. It's just a matter of being timely, so that you, in the long run, you serve the best interest of the client.
Right, very well. We're grateful for your time and submission on 505 Council.
Thank you.
So you had a private legal practitioner, Ni Tete. Now, a job vacancy is open. So a reputable company is looking to recruit a security guard. Requirements are minimum of a senior high school certificate or equivalent. Previous experience in a similar role is an added advantage. And also they're looking for honesty, discipline, alertness, and physically fit. They're looking for someone with good communication and interpersonal skills. Applicant must reside around Laboni, Cantonment, Osu, or nearby communities. So here's how you can apply. Interested candidates should send their CV via WhatsApp and call 053 4467 842 053 4467 842. Only shortlisted applicants will be contacted. Now, are you ready to review your fortune? Review Scratch for Win is here to change your life for good. Just dial star 850 star 5 hash and win up to 1 Ghana cedis or more in cash prizes instantly. It is easy, it is exciting, and is regulated by the National Lottery Authority. Just dial star 850 star 5 hash to play now. It is easy to play, as I said. So the steps: star 850 star 5 hash on all networks. Choose your station to play game. Select stake amount from 5 cedis to 2,000 Ghana cedis. Choose your lucky card out of 5 options. Confirm gameplay and enter your Momo pin. Receive your game result and winnings instantly. It is easy, fun, and exciting. Get ready to scratch, win, and live your best life with Review Scratch for Win up to 1 million Ghana cedis for grabs. The short code again: star 850 star 5 hash to play. Review Scratch for Win. Scratch keke nedisi kasi bam. Review is strictly for persons 18 years plus. Review Scratch for Win is powered by Super Cash Games. So we have about 4 minutes to wrap up 505 here, but let me take some of your messages that came through our WhatsApp console. That is 0500,000 202 0500,000 202. So let me take this message quickly and we wrap up 505. So this one says, the reshuffle made by the president, John Dramani Mahama, will sanitize and bring unity into the government of doubt that the naysayers of the micro minorities are seeing it. Disasters management and organizations and public and government institutions must properly put adequate measures in place so that the spillage of the Bagre Dam opening will not affect or have significant effect on the communities and the environment. Komla Cliff, Stone City, Mayor Ho Central Constituency. This one says, hi Class FM, it's about time private schools take WAEC and GES as in, it's about time private schools take WAEC and GES on as something is fishy. As something fishing is going against private schools. The disparities in grades compared to students in private schools as against public schools is too obvious, as a weak child moves from private school to public school and get better grade compared to a good colleague or college student from private school. And he also says NDCD to be very careful who to make the majority in parliament, as NPP can manipulate that person. They should not put anyone who can stand on his feet and make a strong argument to face NPP leadership. Finally, Honorable Zanetor got a ministerial position to start with as her political career in the executive. This is from Francis here in Accra. Let me take some more messages, and this one is from Mary in Ho. She says, good evening, please can government not beg the Burkina Faso president to wait for our farmers to harvest their Okay, I think what Mary is trying to say, can government beg the Burkina president to wait for our farmers to harvest their crops before the spillage? What are friends for? So that's from Mary in Ho. And let me take one more. This one is from Sefaji Ho Central. He says, good evening, 505. Is it that they are seeking for bail for Wuntimi in the other cases that are yet to be determined, or the one for which he is in jail? They should forget it. And also, let me just chip in this. It says, at work and the day is dragging, in lectures and your brain has signed out, on the move and traffic is doing its own thing, or you are just waiting for the next meal to save you. Whatever the snack moment, Minimi Achumo is the answer. Crunchy, tasty Ghana Achumo you can enjoy anytime your day needs a reset. Minimi Achumo, taste the fun, grab yours now. This advert is FDA approved. So that's it for 505 today here on Class 91.3 FM and our affiliates across the globe. So the bulletin came to you live from our studios here at digital address GL0423595 North Laboni, 3rd Daddy Walk Street here in Accra. We're live on Ho FM 92.5 and Hills FM 91.7 in Nadaklu in the Volta region. We came to you through Max Empire 96.9 at Baswa in the Upper East region. That one piped it through with from 102.5 FM, I should say, in Tamale Radio Power in Spain, and we're live on classfmonline.com as well as our Facebook channel. My name is Nana Agyemah Prempeh. Thanks for joining us. Catch you next week.